Greetings viewers, thanks for joining me out in the shop today. Got an oil filter here for the 3rd gen. Before I go tearing this thing all apart and doing anything to it, I'm going to do some engine cure in a bottle. Now a lot of people don't like that term, but that's what they kind of are. Those, oh, stops smoking, stops knocking, stops this, stops that. Well, my theory on that is if a little is good, more must be better. So I'm going to drain the oil out here, put a new filter in, grab my list of additives, tune you back in. This will be step 1 in can a engine full of additives, stop knocking and wheel on. It'll be an experiment, that's for sure. Same, not an experiment, but on the Tundra, I took it out wheeling. It was freaking awesome. I didn't lower my airbags, so that limited rear articulation. I did get hung a couple times with it, you know, twisting up where I was hanging a tire on each end, so the locker's going to be neat. Now, this truck is pretty basic. 2-inch spatial lift, you know, 33-inch all-terrains. I'm going to put in the locker. It's a Detroit True Track. It's a, what do they call it? It's got the helical gears in it, a torsion. It is a torsion style rear. So it actually does lock when both start spinning. I'm going to do sliders. I'm going to put those high angle CVs in. And those are going to be the first steps on that. So look forward to this coming up real soon. And we can follow along with the experiment on this. I'm going to pick up something else. I had some people ask me for more info about towing. I'll try to give you a little more of an update towing when I go after another potential project. As far as the Lincoln goes, it's not looking favorable of it getting saved at this point, but that could change tomorrow. You never know. Right now, I'm going to change this oil, come back and show you everything I'm dumping into the 3rd gen, see how long it'll survive. All right, I got the filter changed. I've got a white tissue here to kind of try and show how filthy this oil was at only 1,000 miles, but it's already drained off the stick to the point where I can't. It's really black. Get my finger in there maybe. Yeah, let's try that. Woohoo! I hope you can see behind the white backdrop maybe. That is really dark for only having 1,000 miles on it, and you can't see the metallic hue that it has, but it definitely has a silver metallic shininess to it. So let me finish draining it, put the plug back in. I'll show you what my plans are for this. All right, I'm going to bring you down here by this oil pan. Now this was empty, but it's always dirty. But you see all that silvery looking, it may look milky in here, but that's the oil I just drained out. And as it came out, it had that blended metallic-y to it. Hope you can tell what I'm talking about. We all know what it is already. But cure in a bottle. How's that going to work out for me? Find out. All right, for starters, instead of the 5W30 that it recommends, I'll put my other damn glove on is what I'm going to do. I'm keeping these in my truck nice and warm because it is like only 17 degrees out here today. So 5W30 Castrol GTX, that's what oil I'm going to be running. So first of all, we'll put 1 quart of oil in. 1 quart, 530, or 2050. I could not find a straight 50 weight oil anywhere. I'll let that drain and we'll grab the next additive for it, or the first additive for it. All right, first thing I'm gonna put in it is this Restore, engine restore and lubricant. Restores compression, horsepower, engine life, reduces oil consumption, stops noise. We'll see. Shake well. Oh shit. Squeeze and turn. Got to be smarter than the cap, which it doesn't appear that I am at this point. And all else fails, get your screwdriver out. Holy shit, they don't want me in this one. Maybe they're trying to tell me something. Alright, this says squeeze and turn, but I cannot squeeze and turn and get this bitch open. I'm using all of it, so it don't matter. Get the fuck off. Holy shit. Alright, this one's got a hella cap on it. Hella good. Alright, I did shake this up. This is kind of blue and shiny. Look, and this is again the engine restore, since it seemed like it took a day to get that open. That's not terribly thick, really got a good graphite look to it. It's kind of blue and metallic. Trying not to dump any dirt in the engine, but I don't think at this point it's a be-all, end-all if a little bit of dirt gets in there. So, let me grab the next thing. Alright, gonna go ahead and break them out. All here at once. This next one, gonna take a minute to get in there, I think. This is Rizlone Hyperlube. High performance engine oil supplement, extends engine life, eliminates dry starts, prevents oil breakdown, reduces friction and wear, quiets noises. Heavy duty extreme pressure additives gently enhance the ability to cushion and absorb mechanical shocks or increase your oil pressure. All right. I'm going to try this one now and see what I think of it. Still some draining out on that engine restore. I think I'll just let it go. Alright, my dog's out there having a conniption fit because he was cold and wanted in. Which I don't blame him. I'm cold and I want in too. But he knows I'm out here, so he's woofing at me. Alright, this one's pretty thick, but it is running in there okay. Like I said, I did keep it warm as I could out here because it is so cold. Otherwise, this could really take a long time. Alright. So I think this is going to be a good experiment and hopefully give me a result. I'll share everything I know that happens about it with you. So at least you'll know what I know about it. Tell me what you think in the comments if you have an opinion. I have more than one person tell me, screw it, throw some additives in there and drive it. So I'm going to say, screw it, throw some additives in there and drive it. This one's really thick. I hope it starts up in the cold. Oh yeah, that one's going to have some drain time on here for sure. Alright. So, put it in the drain position. Hey, that don't work out too bad right there. Let's see if I can't get this next one open here. What is it? Oh, I got a whole quart of Lucas high mileage yet to go. I bought one of those for the transmission too. Since it got hot, we'll see what happens there. First thing I'm interested in though is what it'll do to the engine, since the engine was having the problem, and even though the tranny got hot, it was still pulling. Let's dump this engine honey in next. This one's Motor Honey Oil Treatment. Reduces friction, stops smoke, stops leaks, quiets noise, increases oil pressure, coats parts, reduces oil burning, etc., etc. Let's just see. This one's going to really take a minute to get in there though, as it is stupid thick. but in it goes. I did look at VMAX. I had a buddy that was an engine builder that pimped that VMAX stuff. He even started an engine with no oil in it that he had treated with the VMAX and ran that thing for 10 solid minutes, and it didn't make any noise at all. He put oil back in it and continued to run and drive that motor just to advertise for them back in the time amongst the race car crowd that he was part of. So I didn't want to try that one though, because it was super expensive, and this already is costing a lot. This is the most expensive oil change I think I've ever done. I'm gonna have to let that work its way down some. This is going to leave a mess all over my engine, but I'm okay with that. All right, so some of that's gone down. Let's add another quart of oil. Altogether, this will be a full 6 quarts, just like it's supposed to have. I'm going to try and dump some oil and some of this engine honey at the same time here, maybe. Imagine it'll still hammer at first on cold startup like it did, but you know, that only lasted for a second. Hope you can hear me while I'm talking to the engine and talking to you, looking at the engine and talking to you. All right, I'm gonna hang this one up here. All right, the Lucas. I'll do the Lucas next. I think you have to shake it up. This is oil stabilizer. Ensures against oil breakdown, makes oil life 50% longer, stops smoking, knocking, oil consumption, controls noise, heat, and wear. Oh, that's for transmissions. I'm not using it in that. I did get one for automagical transmissions. I'll put in the automagical transmission here when I do the change. So this is specially formulated for high mileage engines. About the only thing special it says on it. Oh, yuck. And that stuff is just sticky as anything. It's like molasses. I'd be surprised that molasses are actually sticky. Alright, try to get this one off of here. My damn fingers are cold. It is cold. Tacoma's been delivered. I think you've probably seen all the ends of that. It's been delivered now. Customer has it legal and on the road. She is super excited and very happy with the Tacoma. So that's nice. I told her I would happily do all the maintenance on it for her. And so you'll probably be seeing that again. Now, boy, this Lucas, that's thick too. A lot of thick and sticky. Oh, I'm excited to see how it all works though. I would love to be able to just drive this around with no problems. I'm not expecting that to be the case, but it'd be kind of dandy if I could. If it makes it last through another season, that's money well spent. I mean, it's an expensive oil change, but it's going to be good for 5,000 miles, I think. I've had this thing for a long time, and I still have only put 1,100 miles roughly on it. So appreciate you listening to me ramble on while I dump all these thick-ass additives down in this engine just to see what the end result will be. Is it necessary I get every little tiny bit of this engine honey in there? Probably not, but I'm on that. Little is good, more must be better. If I could build an engine cure in a bottle, maybe 4 or 5 bottles. Alright, I'm going to call it quits on the engine honey one. I just can't hold it there and wait anymore. It's annoying me. Oops, but I can also put the last quart of oil in while I'm dumping this Lucas stuff in. Oh, sorry, Slim. Ain't not grease over in your face there, buddy. One last quart of oil. All of this combined, if I haven't said it 6 times already, does give me 6 complete quarts, so I'm good there. Let's take a little bit. I kept them warm as I could. The oil's actually just like floating above it and going around it. That's kind of comical to see it in here. All right. Oh, shit, don't go over. Okay. Oh man, I am making such a mess here. This stuff is so thick. But that's okay. It'll clean up, wear out, wear off. I wish Oswald would hush. I'll go get him, take him for a ride around the block here in a minute. I need to adjust that idle back down too, because that was making my transmission run hot. Holding it against the torque converter all the time. Oh, this stuff is so gross. Super thick and messy. Alright, I'm gonna let that one drain for a minute here, if it'll behave. Clean up some of this mess. Definitely saving this Lucas bottle. Alright, I'm just capping that off. I can't take it anymore. Okay, let's let that drain. That will take an hour or two, so let me just get a rag. Clean up my mess here, fire it up, see what it does. See how much noise it makes. If it makes any noise. Okay. All right. Well, this is kind of comical. But at the same time, I'm excited to see what happens. All right. I think I'm going to fire it up and see what kind of noise it makes. Well, there was no noise at all. That's pretty quiet. Gather up all my mess here and we'll go for a ride. I lock myself out of this thing all the time. There we go. Okay, viewers, so far so good. Oswald and I out for a drive, and I'm still at wheelin pressure, 10 pounds on my tires, so she's handling a little sloppy and going a little slow. But I have absolutely zero engine noise. And I've been driving it around for about 10 minutes at operating temperature. Don't know how many miles because that doesn't work. crank the heater up there because it's cold. I got no back hatch or back side window. That's going to change when I put my firewall protection up back there, the fuel cell in the back. Do some more other interesting and unusual things to my third gen. Love this truck. Wheels like a champ. Right now for today and immediately following the installation of the additives, she's a-working. Still got to address the brakes and the losing brake fluid. Oh, maybe just a little bit. I will see how much longer I can drive this. Today is February 1st that I'm doing this. I don't know when you're seeing it, but we'll keep a mental note since I don't have a mileage meter of how long it lasted and how much I got to do with it. I'm going to try not to beat it hard in an effort to save it, but I am going to drive it on the trails and wheel it and see what happens. We'll see how all these engine additives do. If it's stupid and I end up just having tossed $100 in the trash by buying all that stuff, well, to me it was worth the try. So enough about that. Gonna head back home, put her in the garage, be back with you in a minute. Okay, viewers, I have been driving around now for about 45 minutes. I figured that's plenty of time for it to mix. Look what's not flickering on my dash is that oil light. Now, yes, I do still have the idle up, but I'm going to bring it down. Driving this around, I'm not beating on it yet, as I want to give all the additives time to work in and do their thing. So I just drove it around like a half-decent human being. And so far, so good. It is whisper quiet and not making a sound. Let me pull her in the garage here and let you hear it. And I'm going to check that tranny fluid too. Okay, idled back down right where it's supposed to be. We are in gear. There is no flickering oil light. The oil light began flickering as soon as operating temperature was reached, and was doing it at idle and even more on its last day before it started knocking. So yippee skippy, I am not flashing an oil light and I'm not exceeding my idle. My idle is not high. That's awesome. Let me check that tranny fluid. Listen to that baby purr. I'm liking that. All right, now transmission fluid, engine hot, transmission hot. Drive it around, put it in park, put it on a level surface. Feed this finicky damn dipstick all the way in. Straight out, and she is over full. Not by much, but a little bit. Then don't want to put that Lucas in because I want to do a 4-quart flush. You know, the 4-quart drain thing I've been talking about. So I'm not doing that right now. The fluid is good. Transmission's working fine. Not really worried about that one overheat session. Yeah, and the reason I'm not worried about that overheat session with the transmissions because I caught it right away and actually did something about it instead of just driving it. All right, step one of the additives. She's been driven around about 45 minutes, mixed well. Yeah, ready for the next day's test. I drove it around, not a noise out of it. Like I said, drove it kind of normal to give it all time to blend and coat and mix and do its thing. We'll see how that all turns out. I super appreciate you watching, and please like if you liked the show. Please subscribe if you want to see more. It is painless, it is free, it is easy, it does help me out. I support my whole show myself, and you support my show by watching. And if you would like and subscribe and click bells and shit like that, Really helps me out a bunch. I majorly appreciate it. Hope you enjoyed spending the day out here doing some additives and starting an experiment. Excited to get going on the Tundra and everything else that's next on Funjunkie Garage. So thanks for joining me out in the garage today. Oswald too. Have a super great day.